How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another public video for New Biology Clinic. I wanted to take this one's a little different than the ones we've done before, but this is in regards to the a meme rather that I came across that talks about the human potential, and it's going on about the uh, the the evolution, let's just say, of certain people in certain cultures in certain places of the world. And I found it was interesting because it's got over, almost 63,000 likes. I'm looking at it right here. It also has a lot of shares, and which means that it probably came across a lot more people's eyes than the 63,000 or so. And what it's talking about, for example, is the Tibetan Highlanders and how they live up to 14,000 feet in elevation, and they're taking in 40% less blood, less oxygen in their blood, which means that their ability to, carry more oxygen in each breath as a whole is much better than most people's, which is true. I'm not negating any of that. Another one is Sherpa climbers, where you see Mount Everest, you see these Sherpas who go up and down multiple times, where most people are doing it, one time if they can make it. And it's going, man, how are they doing that? They're just built differently. You hear this all the time. People are just built differently, and that is true in many ways. That it is true. There's also the Samani, if I'm saying this right, Samani people. They have perfect hearts, allegedly, and why I'm talking about this is because it's not a matter of uh, taking away certain cultures and people's, you know, extravagant feats of, endurance or strength or whatever it is. It's about giving the everyday person an opportunity to recognize that we also, most people do have the potential to do these things. But what has to be considered here is it's not just going and doing something, right? It's not me just going to a place and being like, all right, I'm going to train and I'm going to do it. It's living in those conditions, right? Is what these people are, wherever they are in the world, whatever cultures it is. They live in it, they breathe it, they experience it. Their body is taking in the surroundings day after day after day, adapting. And when I say adapting, I personally don't believe it's an evolution per se of like we are immediately, always born with this or that better. It's going, no, the conditions, the frequencies, the energy around these people and their conditions allows them to adapt and respond quickly, right? Like if I live in a place that is hot, right? Your body's going to adapt. It has to adapt in order to sustain it, right? I don't know per se it's evolution. I think it's just showing the power of how the body is has a very, very strong ability to make adjustments and corrections depending on where you are, what you're doing. And I say all this, and I'm going on about this because where a lot of us get caught, at least from my conversations with people, is, yeah, but I can never do that. That can't be me. And he's going, well, why not? It's like, well, I'm not one of them. Well, then how come there's certain people who aren't one of them who can do it? They're talking about the Baja sea nomads or Baja. I'm maybe saying it wrong. How they can dive up to 200 feet deep. Well, I have friends and people I know who are free divers, and they're not part of that tribe, and they can do the same thing. I have friends who are in that world who weren't always in that world. They trained really hard and they adapted and they adjusted. What's the difference? Is that some people I know weren't born into that world. Some people I know they had to do it later in life. They didn't have a family where it's going, this is just what we do. And when you have it, this is just what we do, people tend to adapt pretty quickly. It's how we survive. But you don't always have to do it that way. And I want people to understand that if you have a goal, if you have something you want to strive for, it's not well, it's only them. Why can't it be you? Well, if it's not a lifestyle, if it's not what you're meant to do, it's not a survival tactic, then it has to be by a much more profound choice to want to push yourself. And not everybody wants to do that. So it does ultimately, this whole message is about what are you going to choose to do that's going to allow you to push your potential? to see what you're capable of, to allow yourself an opportunity to go, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I was able to do that. These are incredible feats of, again, strength, endurance, stamina, whatever it may be. But what about people who want to set a goal for themselves and they want to achieve that goal? Are you willing to put yourself through the ringer to go, I'm not looking at anyone else doing this same thing that I'm doing and going, oh, I wish I could be them. I just don't have that. That's just not me. And going, no, I can do it. I might not do it right away. I might not figure it out all at once, but I will do it. And it's that type of mindset that allows us to do certain things like this because, again, it's not going, I'm doing this for survival. Some people it might be, but other people it's going, I have to choose to go through this fire or go through this feeling of I'm in pain, um, or I'm putting myself at risk. I have to go through this in order to see the goals that I want, which shows us, if this is making sense, we need stress in our lives to fulfill whatever goals we have. We need, in order to achieve anything, we have to be in a discomfort. You have to go into discomfort because the more you are in discomfort, learning how to control that discomfort, the more you're going to start to see how comfortable you are. And if you train in a way that is very uncomfortable, or you're doing things like this, you will learn over time to relax, to control your thoughts, control your feelings, control your emotions, control your breath, control your body. And then those discomforts become a lot more comfortable. And this is what progression is, right? So this is why people who didn't grow up in these tribes or these cultures, they can go and win records and dive deep and do all these things because they focused on what they wanted. They stayed, on track of their goal, and they allowed themselves to go into the discomfort and find comfort and progress, and they didn't give up. And that's where I just want everyone who is listening, who might come across these articles or come across different types of people, to see, hey, you might not be a world record holder or everyone in your family can do it, but you can strive for it. You can push yourself past your limits. Your limits, a lot of times, as you might have already heard, are all in your head. Your limitations live up here, more of them than we think. We a lot of times think, oh, my physical body can't do them. Sometimes, yeah, there is a point. But I've been doing this long enough where I've seen a lot of people not even close to what their physical limitations are, but it's the mind that they've created, the limitation in their mind that they've created that has kept them from that opportunity, from that experiencing a success that they said they wanted. And I'm not here, it's not in a bashing way. I sincerely just want people to know when we see stuff like this, where we see people doing these incredible feats of strength or whatever, just know that it starts with just putting your head under the water. It starts with that first step. It has to start with you breathing. It has to start with you being present with yourself, no matter what you're doing. And again, you're not going to all be winning events and, being the best right away. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. But if you're just trying to achieve something and strive for something, it starts with one step. It starts with recognizing I'm going to be uncomfortable and I have to breathe. I have to breathe through the stress in order to make it out on the other side, or through the experience, seeing the positive rather than focusing on this feeling of this hurts. I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. When is this going to be over? You'll learn how to relish it and go, yeah, let's get some more of that. Let's strive for more. And now you get to see what you're made of, what's your potential. And what was once difficult no longer is difficult. And you're going to look back and go, wow, I used to, that was my goal. Now it's my warm up. That's crazy to me. And I hear this all the time. So anyway, this little meme, got me thinking. So I hope this helps all of you. I hope you can take this, go strive for whatever it is that you want to do. Start with one thing first. Always start with the breath and figure out what's my first step. What's my first move from there? I hope this helps. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.